Hey everybody, your old friend Razmere's here, and today we're going to talk about The Amazing Spider-Man. I'll be honest, I really only compare the movies to the source material that I myself am familiar with, and that's the Saturday morning cartoon shows. Yes, I have read a fair amount of the comics, and I have enjoyed several of the stories in them, but the cartoons are the bug that bit me first, if you'll pardon my pun. I bring this up because when it comes to these superhero movies, everyone tries to compare it to the comics. I would rather have the movies stand on their own 8 legs, but if I had to compare the films to anything, it would be the cartoons. All of this being said, I think the Amazing Spider-Man movie comes the closest to capturing the spirit of the cartoons I know and love. It still, though, falls a little short, just a little, of being a truly good Spider-Man movie. Alright, maybe that's a little harsh. This is a good Spider-Man movie. It's just not the Eisner Award-winning, gooey, doughy-eyed, tears of joy masterpiece that we've been waiting for. But it's still a good Spider-Man movie. I like this movie. I really do. This movie was worth digging up all the spare change I could get my grubby little gloves on just to go see it. Spider-Man actually tells jokes that are funny. He has a romantic interest in the character of Gwen Stacy that feels a pinch, and by a pinch I mean completely more realistic than Mary Jane did in the previous 3 films. Aunt May looks about 50 instead of 500. And that has always bothered me. So, again, that's another major improvement over the previous 3 films. Finally, I think this movie actually takes a whopping 5 minutes to make the school bully Flash Thompson into a well-rounded 3-dimensional character. See, Hollywood, it's not that hard. You can do a lot with a little. I mean, really, they made Flash Thompson likable. What the hell is that about? I wasn't expecting that. What a delightful, unexpected joy. Now, the big problem with this being a reboot is that the people, namely me, who actually sat through the original less than 10 years ago are very likely to get bored sitting and watching the same crap again. Peter Parker is pitiful. High school sure sucks for him. Until he gets bit by a magic radioactive mutant spider from the future! Or whatever it is this week. He gets powers that he goofs around with until Uncle Ben dies. Oh, spoiler, Uncle Ben dies. Also, Krypton blows up. Also, Batman is an orphan. Spider-Man fights street crime until the villain shows up. And the movie finally starts. Hooray! Well, okay, sorta. The villain this time around is the Lizard. A big bad who is great for a few issues of the comics or an awesome episode of a cartoon show, but sadly just isn't interesting enough to be a grand, evil mastermind for a 2-hour movie like you could do with Mysterio, Dr. Octopus, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, any of the Goblins, Kraven the Hunter, or hell, even Electro. Every time I've read a Lizard comic or saw him in an episode of the cartoon, it was always the exact same song and dance. Sigh. I don't have both my arms, and that makes me feel sad. Maybe lizard DNA will help. Yay, it worked, but now I'm a lizard monster. Oh no!
Hey, being a lizard monster is kind of awesome. Everyone should be a lizard monster. Rah! Don't try to stop me, Spider-Man. Get that medicine away from me.
Oh, thank you, Spider-Man. Sorry about turning into a giant lizard monster earlier. It won't happen again. I promise. Rinse and repeat. The Lizard has always had about as much menace as a rejected villain from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show. And while it's great popcorn-munching fun watching him fight up against Spider-Man, it's not exactly deep or thought-provoking. Hey, I'm easily amused, and I can be enchanted by a slinky and a flight of stairs for hours and hours on end. But I'm not about to call it Tchaikovsky Swan Lake. But, you know what? Let's get back to some of the good stuff. Gwen Stacy. A smart, funny, capable character who doesn't need to be rescued every 5 minutes. I'm looking at you, Mary Jane. I don't know if she's loyal to the comic version, but then again, I don't know Gwen Stacy from the comics all that well. I know and love Gwen Stacy from the cartoon shows, mostly Spectacular Spider-Man. I love that show. Well, the end result is still a fun action movie with loads of goofy, super science, cheesy, fun, spectacular goodness. It still has yet to bring the magic of the cartoons and the comics to the big screen. So yeah, best Spidey movie ever from the guy who didn't think the first 3 movies were all that great. I'm going to give this movie a very high matinee. It's worth seeing. It's loads of fun, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm not sure if diehard Spidey fans are going to like it. I'm sure they'll find plenty to raise a stink over. And you know what? They might be right on certain parts. But to those that do raise a huge... I say to you this. This movie is never, ever going to be as bad as One More Day and the Clone Saga. That is all. So, if you're interested in seeing the Amazing Spider-Man movie in theaters, I hope you have a good time and I hope you enjoy it. So until next time, everybody, I'm Razmere. Later.